Okay, Arvi, you can make that screen little bigger by doing Control plus. What happened? What happened? See, the timing is just going. And once I present, like I will not be asking to present again and again. Okay, I will just see the assignment only afterwards. Okay, please start it.
Classification of employment. If a person gets an opportunity to earn money on a regular basis, it is called employment. The set of activities in which people are engaged for income in employment. Employment can be classified into categories: national and international employment.
If an employment is created or provided within a country at a national level, it is known as employment. NGOs and national level private institutions are some examples of national employment.
International employment associated with organizations that are based on national scope and operate in more than one country is international employment. Some organizations that provide international employment are United uh, Nations organizations, NGOs, global organizations, etc. What kind of qualification needs and works needed for professional and international employment? Educational qualification are degrees what, degrees that are earned on good often within a given amount of time, energy, or both. Some skills and qualifications required are excellent networking abilities, collaboration, adaptive thinking, intelligence, resilience, communication, teamwork, problem solving, uh, interactive and enterprise, planning and organizing, self management, etc.
Is it finished? No, no. Even if it is finished, you don't have to close the presentation. Okay, I will be using that presentation itself so that there's at least something visual to show to them. And this is one of the reason why I've been telling the students itself to make the presentation, because it will give you a good practice of computer skills typing to presentation. And I want to also use that. That's why also I've been giving you. Okay, that's one of the objective also. It's both beneficial for both sides, for you also and for the teacher also, so that like teacher doesn't have to be every time writing the same content also. So please show that even though it's the same content, just so that you can show that on the screen. ROE, please show that on the screen, because I'll be using your same detail itself, although it's in the book, but let them see the screen also. Okay, so now let me explain, because when they present, we are trying to cover at least something content for that day. Okay, let's wrap up with this, because we don't want to do all at once at the end. It will be like nothing getting covered, they will lose the file by next day. So classification of employment. So this is the first objective. like how it has been classified is one is national and another is international. That's what they explained here. And I've been always telling you to take note only if they have something different. Okay, if you see the same thing, you don't have to write it. If the same thing is in the book, then why take note? If you see something different, then take only note of those different things, and later on I'll be asking at the end of the unit or submit them all at once, because sometimes I know there will be very less note. So note taking has to just go on when they say something extra or the teacher says something extra. Is that clear? So just be listening, is to see how well you are paying attention, and don't write the same thing of the book in your note. Even if it is there, it's fine, but don't write too many things what's exactly there. So national, first one is the national employment, and second one is the international employment. So in case of national employment, we have already studied this from grade 6 itself. When you started from grade 6, we had the same objective of like what are the types of employment. One was on the basis of ownership, another was on the basis of place, and finally another was based on the season. So on the basis of ownership, you studied about the individual and self, which you don't need for this year anymore, for now. Okay, when you're studying this. And on the basis of place, you remember one was the local employment, second was national, and third one was international. So it's the same thing, it's getting repeated. So we have to do it very quickly and try to finish in grade 8. Okay, we don't want to wait too much. It's just a repetition. So national employment, you can see the public services that we just did recently. Let's just make connection. Okay, we studied about public services. I told you it has to be a people from the government job. Okay, so you have to remember that those are all national employment. They're getting jobs in hospital or different sectors. Okay, whether it be all those gazetted and non-gazetted, in technical occupation and non-technical. So all those national employment from public services, they can also be all coming over here in national employment. And after this, we have another one as international. Can you go a little down? Or you can either refer to your book also, page 27. Okay, both of them you can be using, whichever is easy for you. If your book is not there, then you can just see on the screen also. International employment. So in case of international employment, when it involves that more than one country, let's say that job is available for India and Nepal, then that is like itself international. So in case of UN, all the UN member countries, they have been providing UN jobs. Okay, they have been sending different or different like organs from there to work, like WHO to different sectors. They are in different parts of the world. UNICEF, UNESCO, UNDP, UNHCR, in all those UN member countries. So that is international employment. Same way, even there are like to some extent INGOs providing at a job in 2 or 4 countries. Let's say there's an organization of INGO of UK. Maybe that UK, that some INGOs might be working itself for Nepal, some maybe for Africa, some maybe for India, some maybe for different at least 4 or 5 countries also they might be working. That's also international. But although maybe their own defeat, their department for international development, maybe they are itself funding. I'm just giving examples that some are just working that way. Okay, and they are the donor itself for those INGOs, and that's also an international employment. So you can go to next page also. And next, you can go down, Save the Children, WWF, EC mode has been working for more than like all our normally this rather than saying SAARC countries, if you see the Hindu Kush Himalaya all the way extending, those are the member countries of EC mode. And that head office is itself in Pulso. Earlier it was in before St. Xavier School, Jaulagir. Okay, when I was studying in that school, it was there. Afterwards, it moved away to Pulchok afterwards. And there are others also, global organization, ILO, WHO, IMF. So these are the international organizations. Okay. So is that clear about national and international? Is the concept clear? If there's anything like these terms like UN, these things I'm not going to talk. We'll be talking in social studies when that topic comes. Okay. Right now, our main concept is to know about national and international for now. And the plan has not been kept in a thematic also. They're both lessons going together right now because of few things also. So we'll talk about these different organizations later on. Okay, now next group, characteristic of international employers. If you're ready, you can just be showing the presentation. Meanwhile, I'll wrap up with them. Okay. Okay, so the first objective was classify employment, so that was enough. And their feedback is like, when you're doing the same thing from the book, at least that is also fine for me, because there's something to present them. But for you, there might not be much learning, okay, because you have written exactly the same thing. But if you at least modify that in your own words and own language, that would be very good. Okay, just change the word sentence structure at least to say that you understand those English. It helps you to improve your English also. And that's why I've not been giving you a lot of work. Okay, next group. Okay.
Can we start, sir?
Yes.
So the characteristics of international employers. So it is strong technical skills, and they operate in various countries through branches. So you need to have a strong vocational skills and valuing diversity and multicultural teamwork, unique company culture, and flexible work schedules, dedicated team builders, communication skills, dependability and persistence, ability to calculate and solve highly classified problems. So these are the characteristics of international employee.
Thank you so much. Just keep it on the screen, okay? Because we'll be using that as itself a reference. Okay, based on what they presented on the screen, do you have any question which line you didn't understand? They will try to explain also, and after that I will explain, okay? Because their work is itself to also get prepared whatever they're presenting. They have to also understand and try to explain that. Okay, any confusion in this? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if not, let me continue with this. So, characteristic of international employers. So, this is the second objective. So, some of the characteristic of international employers are like you can see there: strong technical skills to the different. What is the source of this information? Yes,
So
Edina.
we found it in Google. Like there wasn't much in the book, so we had to search it.
Okay, that's why we told like you're always allowed to go out of the book, but and research, but it objectives have to be same. Okay, because the writers are also going to write in the same way. So that's fine. So I just wanted to ask which is the source, which site is the source. Try to keep them in the reference. That's what I told. Even though you don't show it in detail to us, but at least once at a glance, we just need to know from where that information came. Okay, for all the information, always please write down and list down the source.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so in this characteristic of international employers, you can see they are operating in more than one country through either brands or agents. Like we told in case of UN, we told in case of some INGOs. Let's say it's an INGO, let's say funded by UK government. Then that's itself working through different branches. So that's the first characteristic. Another thing is that most of their headquarters are itself in their home countries. If it is an INGO of UK, then the headquarter will be itself in UK, maybe London itself. Okay, even though they are working in Nepal or they are working in Tanzania, they are working in Nicaragua or whether anything. If they're working in different countries also, their headquarter is normally itself in their home country where the most of the funding they are doing. In some of the cases, I told itself UK's DFID is their Department for International Development. They are itself giving fund accordingly. And next one, so they operate their activities in certain country, adapting to its unique social, geographic, religious, cultural, political, and ethnic aspects. Means if they're working in Nepal, they'll be working according to context of Nepal. If they're working in Africa, they'll be working in context to Africa's geography, their culture, keeping in those mind, so that when they work also, for some of them there might be some cultural shock based on the difference in cultures, right? But more or less they'll be working according to what is needed there, and that's how they should be working. But most of the people, even if they are like 24 or 25, they think they have to work according to how the people of their country think, and which is not possible. The way of culture and the other might be different at times. Maybe it might be same with the urban people who are in Kathmandu, but not with the village people, their way of thinking, isn't it? Maybe the people who are in Kathmandu might think, oh, UK might be like Game of Thrones exactly, but they don't think so. It's a total, just trying to say, okay. So you cannot just exactly see also, it will be a difference also, but they have to work according to a particular country. Okay, so I'm just trying to talk based on our level of what you might have a thinking also. Okay, so that's the characteristic of international employers. Okay, is that clear? I explained what is in the book also with the examples. Now, finally, the last one, importance of international employment. Last group, let's do it quickly and finish it because we don't want to take too many periods for small topics.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Importance of international employment. Introduction of international employment. When the employment is associated with organizations that are international in scope and operate in more than one countries, it is known as international employment. Some of the major organizations that provide international employment services in Nepal are INGOs, NGOs, and global organizations. Darshana?
Impo- Importance of international employment. There are many importance of international employment, and some of them are mentioned below. They increase the economic status of the country. This might also help in making bonds between any other nation stronger. It helps in the transfer of knowledge, technology, skills, and management, which has a positive impact in the economy of the country. It plays a major role in the social and economic activities of the country.
Adya?
Disadvantage of international employment. International employees are not able to go to the home for traditional holidays and festivals. Traditional employment often makes a country dependent in the economic and non-economic activities. It also often reduces the interest of people in national and local organization.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me mute if there's no one to present anymore, I think. Okay, now, can you show that importance mainly? Because I just want to say this is the main thing what I was expecting. Okay, yes. So in importance of international employment, can you see your book also? Let me just wrap up this thing. They have already told, they have read out also. So do you have any question based on this to the group? Because they have to be able to defend them, okay, whatever they have been writing. But even if they don't defend and it's of graded level, I will try to support. Okay, so don't make it too simple also at times. See if it's your level, just try to write that in your own words. At least that is also enough. Remaining I will try to explain. Okay, if there is no question, so in this case of international employment, importance is like when we have international employment means the people from other countries, they are going to invest, whether it be organizations or anything, like they are going to invest in the country. Like we have ansel to anything different international, they are going to invest in the country. Same like because the government doesn't have every time enough funding to invest. Like even in case of Budi power, again Budi Gandaki hydropower, Nepal government doesn't have enough, and they are sometimes thinking maybe China government has a plan to invest in that by giving loan, and some of them think it's like a death trap where the country will not be able to return back the money at times. Okay, so this is a different perspective, but you could have watched that video. And like China has been doing to Africa, that's what they have been saying. They invest and and that country cannot return the money, then they use all that resources because they are able to invest. However, let's forget about that for now. But international employment will be getting in foreign investment also, and which will give employment. It will be you'll be giving employment to the people so that it will increase the economic activities of the people. So the economic status can improve in the country, and there will be economic development to some extent based on this factor as well, because some type of foreign currency will be also coming. At the same time, they will be taking also, which we might not know. And sometimes that's why the government is suspicious in case of INGOs. They might be taking more than even bringing at times, which needs to be also monitored. That's a different perspective, okay, on development. If we keep on thinking, some things are like coming, but some things are more also going. And another thing is, when it's international, they will be bringing all the knowledge, technology, skills that they have, how that country works. Like let's say UK government has sent the people, then they'll be bringing the technology, skills, whatever they have, the way they work, everything. You'll be working together with them, and you'll be learning how they work, how their management works, how they work. So you can learn a lot. Like in case of UN also, that's what you can be learning. So it's a transfer of knowledge, technology, skills, management for the country. And finally, next one, you can see there is social and economic activities for the country. So it plays a major role so that there will be social and economic activities for the country, that they can be integrated, they can be combined, social activities and economic activities, because of international employment. And there are, like, of course, you can see most of the UN houses or UN jobs, they're providing good salary. Sometimes if you see their UN jobs volunteer also, UN volunteers also, sometimes it looks like 50,000 itself, and which is itself like a salary is higher than the teacher scale of Nepal. If we see their calculation and see, okay, sometimes, so like just trying to see, they are really giving good salary and bonuses and different facilities. And in our case, 50,000 is like, is even like, let's say 45,000 is the officer level salary right now for government jobs. So that's the thing about international employment. And finally, next slide, disadvantage. So we also already told before, in case of international employment, that's the first one that is written. You might not be able to celebrate your holidays and festival because that's going to be based on other countries at times. Okay. And next, other thing is, they are going to transfer the technology, they are going to transfer the skills. Okay. And when they transfer all those, then our traditional technology is going to be extinct, because with modern technology itself, some of the traditional technology are already extinct. And when this internationally it comes, then all those traditional technologies of different countries might be extinct. And like you can see, Ansel was a multinational company, and still it's a multinational company. Earlier it was funded by the government of Finland and Sweden. That was their business. Later on, right now, after they sold it to Malaysian government, I think. And during that time, it was told that they didn't pay the tax for the country, but they sold it. Normally, before selling, they have to pay the tax to the government. If you're selling your house also, you have to pay the tax. If you're selling your land also, you have to have your tax clearance. And there was a tax clearance was not done by Ansel, but they sold it and government passed it. Again, whose fault it is? Of course, it is told that the government, that party was during the election campaign, they might have taken that type of news were also coming at times. Like at times, okay, thinking that party was going for the election, maybe they took the funding and not giving it to the government's tax place, but directly the party taking itself and passing it. And that we don't know exactly what happened. Okay, Ansel is trying to say that was given somewhere, or exactly we cannot say what happened after the investigation and the news come. Then only we can say this is the final thing. For now, I'm just reporting what the news are reporting. Is that clear? Okay, it's not my work to judge them, right? It's my work just to report what are the reports. Although I might have a personal feeling, okay, it might be different. So revenue from these countries, they are going to go back to their own country. Like before, when Ansel was making profit, it would be going back to that government of Sweden and Finland, Telia Sonera. And now, right now, Exata, isn't it? So that's a Malaysian company, means it will go to their country when they make profit. So that's another disadvantage. And we use, and the more they make profit means more will be also going at the same time. However, we have been also developing because communication was quite expensive. There was a monopoly of NTC. Either the network was not good. Right now, after they came, they also had to go in a competition. Sometimes when there's only one monopoly of one school also in the market, then another one school might itself do a monopoly. But when there are several, then but too many schools also is difficult because there will not be students and it's a loss for them also. So monopoly it's going to be broken at times, sometimes as well. So that's like disadvantage is most of the money will be going out. And another thing is they pay good salary. Sometimes they pay high, and then people will stop working for national and even local companies, and they make more and more profit, and the profit goes to other countries. And when people work, they're not going to think for the country. Most people will think for themselves. Right now I'm earning, let me earn. Whether go to Australia and earn, but they will earn. Okay, so people, but that will hamper in the development of the nation to some extent. And another thing is people are always depending on foreign investment. When they will bring the foreign investment every time, okay, they will be waiting for foreign investments itself, like Buri Gandaki. They're waiting for the investment. That's what it has been told. And when they keep on waiting for the investment, then sometimes it's too late also. Sometimes it's like it's too late means it will get expensive. Things will get expensive with time. But the thing is, like, it makes people dependent on foreign investment. Same with organization. When will INGOs come and give funding, or when will NGO come and give funding to us, and then we will start working for the livelihood project for our village. That's what people might start thinking. Some will be just waiting for the funding. They will be too much dependent on them, and there will be no they will not be itself working out for that. So that's another disadvantage of international type of either employment or organizations. And another things, lastly, we already told, culture, tradition might be also affected because they will be bringing in their own cultures as well. And that's what that will start. Like itself, you can see the trend how the schools operate. If you see international schools, the way you can see of, like, even telling in case of what US does to the teachers. Normally you just don't say sir or ma'am, you just want to cut the name and just say Mr. Susil or Mr. Silwal or whatever it is. You can see all these cultures is not coming now, it was already coming from 10 years before. Okay, once the concept of international thing was already coming in international schools itself in that name, you can see different cultures will be coming, and which will be like deteriorating our internal culture even. So that's also another disadvantage. I think you do agree this, right? Okay, so these are the things. Not only in that case, I'm just talking in perspective to the school, but in other case of organization also, you can see the way how it will be going will be according to their culture also, moreover, and their tradition of their country. So that's it about the disadvantage. Okay, any questions? If not,
No,
like,
sir.
there are questions on the book. Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, if there are no questions, we have questions in the book, and I've been giving that questions. I'm trying my best for now, since looking at the assignment, some of them are not able to complete. If I see, I told you, if you see some questions are similar, then try to just write same as above. That's what I've already told you earlier. Okay, if you think they are similar, if not, it is for you. It will help you later on. Like if I reduce the assignment or don't give any assignment at all, then when you are going to give your BLE later on, it might be a trouble. In case of OBT also, you will be, I think, having BLE for this year, and last will be next year, I think, and then it will end with OBT course for 6, 7, and 8, and then I think it will go to optional subject for grade 11 for college level. For now, that they plan to just close it for the school level. but you and maybe next year's the present grade 7 might be taking, but present grade 6 I think they will not be taking. Okay, but so just be seeing that. Okay, so far this is the decision. Last time it was totally closed, then again they made a decision like change to some action, I think. But don't take it officially, just listen to me only. Is that clear? As long as we're teaching, you just keep on learning. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Please,
sir.
yeah, thank you so much, and please do those question answers. Okay, let us end for now.